Alrighty folks, welcome to Crappy Design. This week's videos are brought to you by Preventative Healthcare. Try to wash your hands regularly, avoid touching your face a whole bunch unless you've just washed your hands like I did there, and also try not to breathe in places where other people are breathing because that's actually the primary form of transmission. Let's start off with number 19, this entrance to my student accommodation. Okay, that seems like it's behaving correctly. Oh, you can reach through the chain link fence and open it up pretty easily. Yeah, we've seen this sort of thing here. Sometimes it's just like iron bars, other times chain link fences. Also looks like a short gate, which means you're probably not going to have much of a hard time jumping over it, even if the doorknob were to work properly. Although I guess you look more suspicious if you're jumping over a fence, but then someone looking on from the outside is going to be like, they probably forgot their key. They're surely not committing a crime. So, hey, why do you even need to go outside at this point? Haven't you heard? We're all staying indoors forever. Okay, stop trying to go places. Pulling into this car park requires you to keep right in a country that keeps left. Then to resolve it, they do this. When they were drawing those lines, weren't they thinking for a second like, hey, you know what? This is very much illustrating a collision. Cars don't have the ability to phase through each other, unfortunately. Hopefully that tech will be developed soon and really avoid some accidents. Cars phase through each other, and the humans just hit each other at high impact directly. But maybe the humans can avoid each other, you know? Humans take up less space. But until then, maybe this isn't the best way to do it. Or you could do a stop sign, because stop signs are kind of what are used for intersections. Also, why does it... So usually you keep left, and then it's like exit on the right. Why would it be that sort of exit? Why don't they just have you... Did the people building this forget that they were in a country with left-hand drive and they built the entrance and they're like, oh... Right, we forgot how we're used to designing things for the US. We forgot that we were in the UK. Our bad. You will get right on that, but for now, this seems like a great solution. I'm sure people will figure it out and not crash into each other. Who is your favorite president? Mine is the White House. United States of America presidents. George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Teddy Roosevelt, Barack Obama, the White House. Also known as 44 and a half between Obama and Trump. Because what happens is that, you know, in the split second between inaugurations, when there's no president, which is probably not how it works at all, it's probably an instantaneous transition, but the White House just kind of takes over the duty for that split second. They just decided to omit it over here, but then they got more granular and they're like, we'll actually show the very, very granular by the millisecond transmission of one president to the other. The White House takes over. The White House is actually sentient. When you're in there, it infuses you with the information of U.S. history. It just goes, it flows when you're in there. I've never been inside, so I don't know that for sure, but I've heard rumors. Look at the volume button. Volume, minus, plus. Well, okay. We have a couple of options here. Are the minus and plus incorrect? Is it actually, you know, this should be a plus at the top and it should be a minus at the bottom and that's how it acts on the TV? Or did they actually invert the controls? Either way, that looks like an old remote. That's like the remote from my grandma's CRT TV when I was a young lad. They're just like, you know what? No one will pay close attention. The TV one day will be old and the remote will be covered in dust and nobody will notice this. Math will take you places, but not Mongolia. Math will take you places. This was a very subtle thing to notice, actually. I think if I was just walking by, I'd just not even pay attention. But they just... person doing this map was just like, shoot, what goes there again? I don't have an internet connection. This sucks. Why don't we have cell service at the office? And we don't even have internet here? Or they were working on it on a plane. On a trip or something like that. They're like, shoot, I gotta finish this work assignment. It's due when I arrive at the airport at my destination. I remember most countries. I got it, except what's that one above China? Like, there are so many others in here that I would have a much harder time remembering. You know, you got China, Mongolia, Russia. It's kind of just a 3-stack right there that's pretty easy to remember, as opposed to remembering all the locations of the Southeast Asian countries, all of Africa. Like, that's the one that slipped through. Fridge magnet my mom brought home. Is it just... Oh. Yeah, you'd think that for something of that size, maybe you'd want 2 magnets on the back. The center of gravity on it is not quite at the middle. It's a little bit off because, it's 3-dimensional and stuff, and they didn't even try it before selling it. Surely this will work. They just designed it, they sent it off to the manufacturer, and the manufacturer's like, okay, here you go. And then they're like, well, this doesn't work, but people won't notice until they get home. This Russian website makes you scroll through all cities in the world to find yours and doesn't have search functionality. Well, I'm at a loss on this one. I don't know Cyrillic, so I don't even know what order characters be. Alphabetical order doesn't really help me a great deal here. Do you have like 2 cell phone networks going on? Bro, what is this witchcraft? You've got Wi-Fi and you got double cell phone networks, dude. Yeah, that's annoying. Hopefully this is for cities only in Russia, or cities elsewhere also translated into Cyrillic. Like, what does Los Angeles look like in Cyrillic? Anyway, that looks inconvenient. Ah, yes, the Quatre Popper. Okay. I think they knew. Whoever was designing this was like the same person who designed the Little Mermaid castle. They were like, what if I can sneak this by QA? I'm gonna try. It's gonna be great. I mean, in fairness, it's like, if the goal is to have the entrance on one side and the exit on the other, I'm not entirely sure what else you're gonna do. But maybe you could have it just exit out the side. Not as realistic, but it avoids the human centipede happening here. It's okay. The kids have no idea. They're too young. You get a slightly older kid and they're gonna be like, haha, it's a butt. The footpath on my street doubles as a drain by design, so when it rains, you can't use it. Wait, if it doubles as a drain, shouldn't it be draining? That doesn't seem like it's working properly, or is it like it's the flow and then the actual drain is like down the way, so all the water kind of flows into here and then it turns into a river and it flows into the drain, which actually takes the water away where it's not impeding on the sidewalk. Why would you make the sidewalk the drain? How is that up to code at all? We got to keep those cars dry, okay? People who are walking on the sidewalk, you can get rain boots. You kids like stomping in puddles, okay? Who are we to take that away from them? But those cars, they got to stay out of the wet. All right, it's a detriment to those poor automobiles. Brilliant use of color. Coronavirus confirmed cases. 10,000 plus, 1,000 plus, 100 plus, 50 plus. I mean, yes, why don't we use the same color for everything over 50 plus? Also, are we at 10,000 plus confirmed cases here in the US? Actually, by the time you see this, we might be at 10,000 plus. We may well be at 10,000 plus. Also, the thing is, with the 10,000 plus, that's only people who have been tested. Also, usually you escalate from left to right. That's strange. And also, you should probably differentiate between, 50 plus and 100 plus, because even I just got confused. Just do it. Oh, wait, no, just dots. Sorry. I just, interpolated what it probably is about. Just dots. See, what happened here is I think they were trying to avoid trademark infringements on Nike, and if they had the eye there and the eye was still filled in, then Nike would have been like, yeah, you can't do that. So they just dots, and your brain kind of fills it in as you see there. So obviously it works, which is kind of impressive. It's a very helpful map of the world. This looks like a scaling problem, where it's like you either zoomed in or out and the map just wasn't ready for it, or the data connection wasn't there, and it's just like, here, have everything. Yeah, actually, I guess what happened here is that you zoomed way, way, way out, and it didn't scale the text along with it. Russia made a World Cup-shaped water bottle. Little did they know that it's basically a giant magnifying glass setting fire to everything. I want to see this. Wait, so you set it down. Oh my god, and it just focuses the sunlight on a particular spot? my god. Bruh. I don't blame them. I feel like this isn't something you test for. Like, hey, let's make sure before we sell this that it doesn't turn into a sun laser beam. All right. Wait, is the Russia World Cup upcoming, or is this older? Or, I guess nothing is upcoming, if we're gonna be honest about it. Even the Olympics are not necessarily upcoming. But this, yeah, that's impressive. Also, kind of impractical. You have to two-hand that. But I guess you get a lot of water. The new lockers in my school. Okay, so you have a lock on the front rather than a built-in one. I'm assuming there's an easy way to, yeah. This seems well done. By the way, we have to pay $30 a year to get a locker. Bro, when I was in high school, we all got assigned lockers, and like 5% of the students actually used them. You guys have a shortage of lockers at your school? Really? That's wild. Lockers, I thought when it came to TV and stuff, I was like, these are a myth. Nobody at my school uses them. It's usually better when, a lock attaches two things together. I'm gonna lock my bike to the post, so hopefully no one steals it. But actually, I'll just drape my lock around the bike, and people think it's locked. Imagine dropping this survival knife in the woods. Yeah, I mean, it depends on the kind of woods. If it's snowy, you'd probably still find it if it doesn't sink into the snow. I don't really know why your own knife needs to be camouflaged, to be honest with you. It's not like, are you camouflaging the entirety of your being? Or are you on like a special forces mission where you're completely camouflaged and you're like, damn it, my knife really sticks out here. This sucks. I need to do something about this. Aha, the solution, the camo knife. Now no one will see me because the entirety of everything is camouflaged. It's like, this doesn't seem very necessary. A measuring scale, but on a non-transparent bottle. Yeah, that's the one that doesn't even look like you can hold up to the light and see through. I've seen some motor oil containers that are similar to that have had a measuring line, and I'm like, well, guys, thanks for that, but I can't actually see through, so it isn't helping very much. This seemed to belong here. A rental car that depends on you having cell data to be able to run. Today, in sharing economy struggles, our app-powered car rental lost cell service on the side of a mountain in rural California, and now I live here, I guess. It appears that although I do not have enough cell service to start up my only means of transportation, I do have enough to live tweet my struggles. So thanks for tuning in. I'll be here indefinitely. Yeah, that's weird. How do you have the ability to send photos through a tweet, but not send the startup signal to the car? Also, yeah, I know that Teslas, they also have like a phone-based startup, but at least they have a backup key that you can use, because it's like most parking garages don't have cell phone service inside of them. If you don't have cell service, you can't use the phone to start the car, because it's not like an RFID proximity thing. So at least you have the backup key. This seems like a severe oversight. Can you imagine? You're like in the middle of a perfectly busy city like LA, which has terrible cell phone service everywhere to begin with. You enter a parking garage and you're like, ah, cool, I can't start my car up now. This is great. Also, the clearance is too low for a tow truck. So I'm gonna have to have a car just like tow me out with a rope. Would you like your chips with or without chips? Chips? Without chips? With chips? What do I order here? I don't understand. If I order my chips without chips, am I just paying for the plate? Is this base cost? It's like, if you want a plate, it's $1.90. That cost is factored into every other dish. The chips themselves are 50 cents. So, but also to add the chips to anything else, it's $1.90, which is the base cost over here. What's the 50 cents here then? Because you'll notice that it's $1.90, right? To add the chips to anything here, but then you have this extra 50 cents. Does that mean it's just 50 cents to get a few extras? I'm confused on this one. The wheels on the new Mac Pro don't have locks. They cost $550. Goodbye, $50,000 computer. It was nice knowing you. Well, you see, the problem here is you have to buy the external locks. Those cost another $200. Obviously, you didn't check that box, you idiot. You didn't see it on the webpage. Duh. See, the problem with that is those monitors that they're selling along with the Mac Pro, If you get them from other companies, they're actually like even more than Apple charges for them. Why don't they just say like, here's the cost of the monitor, and they could have charged more for the monitor. And it still would have been cheaper than a lot of the other manufacturers doing those high-end displays, which can be up to like $10,000. What you need to get here is wheel chocks, okay? Just go on Amazon, look up wheel chocks, and put them on the edge of the wheels. That's what you need, computer wheel chocks. It's perfect, dude. It's perfect. You forgot to get that option too. Alrighty, well, that's it. Thank you for tuning in to this month of Crappy Design. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Make sure to like if you like. Check out the playlist if you want to catch more Crappy Design, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I'll see you next time.